It's finally here. Derby Day, the BMW Hong Kong Derby on Sunday. $20 million on the table, as is a potential clean sweep of the 4-year-old series as well, with Golden 60, Francis Loy and Vincent Ho. Very warm welcome to the show. I'm joined this year by our former analyst Paul Lally and race caller Tom Wood as well. Tom, it should be a fantastic day.
Yeah, a really good program of racing, Andrew. The Blue Ribbon event for the 4-year-olds here in Hong Kong. We've seen the first two legs taken out by Golden 60, the Classic Mile and then in the Classic Cup. And history shows you that you need a triple figure rating. And we've got 3 of those with Golden 60, More Than This and Champions Way.
Upsets generally don't happen. Not saying it can't happen, Paul, but added into the mix, we've got a nice little bonus in the 6-up as well.
Yeah, of which the Derby, of course, is one of the races. So 2.3 million starting off in the 6-up. So it should be a decent payout if you manage to get it. And if there is an upset and it's one of those 3 horses outside the top 3 in the Derby, it might even be a jackpot.
There you go.
Could well be.
All right, we'll get to that. Race number 8 for the big race itself, the Derby. There's loads of first starters or debutants and horses making their Hong Kong debuts as well. So it should be a fantastic programme. Lots to get through, though, with the 10 races on the programme on Sunday. We're on the A course as well. It is meeting number 55 of the season. We kick things off with a Class 4 contest, and we have 14 of them going round in this opening event, including 2 horses making their debuts as well. Headed by Fresh Power, who's back into Class 4 company. He's a 2-time winner in this grade. Erin Centenary makes his debut. Evan Almighty was 4th on debut. Sky Show also on debut. All Best Friends, an impressive winner in Class 5 last time out. Fighter Boy gets a step up in trip, gets barrier 11. Probably roll forward though. Snorlax first up for the season. Haven't seen him since last May. Leading Fortune gets an inside gate, and Mother Wishes as well. Another one first up for quite some time. Over a year in actual fact. February 2019, the last time we saw him. Fresh Power and Sky Show are the horses that have been up at Chung Fa for this first event, Tom.
Yeah, we've got a couple here on debut and 6 horses that are having their 3rd run or less here in Hong Kong. So there could be some variance. Evan Almighty's got some speed, and we've seen speed in the past from the likes of Fighter Boy, who was relatively handy last time out. Sky Show's shown some good pace in his trials. They've all been up at Chung Fa. Harrier, Jet, Breeze of Spring, All Best Friends. One of the other newcomers there, you can see Erin Centenary caught a little bit wide from 13.
This horse been really well on debut. This is one of the ones Tom was talking about, with only had the 1 start. He's ran 4th behind Yichong Pegasus, who will run later in the card, but he's come on from that run, and I think he's looking good. Sky Show's a debut runner. He's at 12-20 pounds, so he's quite a big boy, as you can see on screen there. He's had 4 trials to get him ready, all up in Chung Fa, and he did win the last of those 4 trials. You can see him nicely enough, but they didn't go very quick. All Best Friends, he was very impressive his last start. Was ridden by Zach Purden, who's not riding him in this. But look, he's in good form at the moment, and he's gone up in the ratings, but he has won off 14 points higher as well. So he's still a well-rated horse.
All right, enthusiastic piece of work we just saw there. Let's see him in action. This was a really good win. 4 lengths was the margin. He was well backed as well, but as you pointed out, Paul, Alex Lyde being on board on the lead up to this. Zach jumps on board, gets the win. Zach booked elsewhere now.
Yeah, and Alex jumps back aboard, so he'll get his opportunity. Look, he's up to a rating of 50. This was Class 5. He's back in Class 4, but he's a Class 3 winner, this horse. He has won off 64 before. He's got barrier 3 with Alex Lye aboard, so look, it was hard to leave out for me.
This was the first time he'd showed any sort of form at all at Sha Tin. He'd had several runs before that, 12 unplaced runs, and then comes out and donkey looks him like that. So I've got him benched this time, so we'll see how he goes.
All right, OK. Let's have a look at Breeze of Spring. Hasn't managed to win yet. This is a good effort from the running second, just in front of Evan Almighty. But Breeze of Spring has had a run since and was, well, out of the money again.
I thought this race, he still ran reasonably well because he was caught wide throughout, but wasn't in the end too far from them. 2.5 lengths, you can see him boxing on OK there in the pink cap. The other one in this race was Evan Almighty, and I thought he stayed on OK for 4th over the concluding stages, but he has since trialled nicely. We'll see that soon, though.
Yeah, the thing with Evan Almighty, I think he's improved from that run as well. He'll be fitter for the run with natural improvement, so I'm going to go with him.
All right. Well, as a follow-up to that, we can hear from Evan Almighty's trainer, which is Douglas White.
Douglas, Evan Almighty, gave him 4 trials leading into his debut. What were your thoughts on his first up run?
I thought he ran with credit. He's a nice big individual and he probably needed that outing. Joe indicated the same thing. So let's hope that he's come on from that. Look, he's got an awkward gate to contend with. Fortunately, he's had that run now under his belt, so let's hope that he can get to the races. And, you know, that run would have given him a little bit of confidence going forward.
And what was your take on his Happy Valley trial?
I thought he ran I thought he gave himself a nice educational trial. He needed a hit out between runs, and I think the experience did him well.
Derby Day on Sunday, of course, Douglas, a day that you've had plenty of success on. It must bring back some happy memories.
Yeah, it's a good day to have runners. It is one of my favourite days riding-wise. I think it's a race that any jockey and owner, trainer, wants to win. It's one of the most prestigious races on the calendar. So it's a good day to be involved in.
I know you're not involved in the race this year. I'm sure one day you will be, probably soon enough. If I could give you a horse in the race, if you could saddle any one of them up, which one would it be?
Oh, look, what Golden 60 does, he does it on pure talent and raw ability, and everyone doubtful about the distance, but when you're running against your own age group, I've learnt that they can handle it. He's got an amazing turn of foot, and if he comes to races in the form and shape that he has in his last couple of runs, I think he'll be a very hard horse to beat.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty popular opinion, that Golden 60. We'll get to that race number 8 for the Derby. Moving on from Evan Almighty to the first starter here in Sky Show. And he's had 4 trials. He's won 2 of them as well.
Yeah, this is the one up in Chung Fa. And look, to be honest with you, the first couple of sections here, I could have sort of run faster than these horses. They were pretty slow,
sure?
really. So they were pretty.
After a Qingdao.
And it was just basically a dash and sprint home. And he sprinted away nicely enough. So look, I don't think this is an overly strong field. So I'm just ignoring you two, and I'll put them in the field.
We need some features for Hong Kong Direct. That could be a little pull against the horse. We'll move on though to So We Joy. What about him?
This horse here, his trial was just average to moderate, I thought. He's had that one run. It was on the all-weather over 1,200 metres behind Superpower Man. He jumped better in this recent barrier trial because he was awkward out first up, but he was just a little bit one-paced and hard-ridden to the line. So I'd be looking elsewhere.
Yeah, first start on the turf for him, isn't it? He had his run on the all-weather. I'm happy to watch him on debut, second start up.
All right. I did see a great video in Japan. They had a relay race and the horse racing them as well on all-weather track. So we
can think about that.
We can do something with this, I'm sure. Evan Almighty is our favourite for the first.
Exactly. I got him on top 2, Evan Almighty. I think he's improved a lot between start 1 and start 2. If I had a boy, now he's only had the 1 start, or 2 starts now, and he's run well on both of them. They were both down the straight thousands. I think stepping up to 1,200 is a good thing for him. Sky Show on debut, and all best friends. He's done nothing wrong, and he's a well-rated horse. 4.857.
Going with Evan Almighty as well. I didn't think there was a lot of exposed form really in this race, and he's a horse that ran well first up, only beaten 2 1/4, and he finished nicely in that recent barrier trial at Happy Valley, so he goes in. Breeze of Springs had a lot of chances. Grant Van Neerkerk and Peter Ho, he's up to start number 11, but he's been a little bit in and out from time to time, but he did stay on last time after being caught wide. Thought Leading Fortune might be a chance. He's drawn better this time, and I thought he hit the line okay last time out behind Eternal Harvest. He was in the market at 10 to 1, and Sky Show on a minor line, so 4, 12, 13 and 5.
All right, a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B for me. We've all got the 4 and the 5 in our numbers there in race number 1.